Hello and welcome back to Nunchuck and the second video of what I am calling the Ultimate Nunchuck series, which will teach you everything that you need to know about nunchucks. In the last video, we discussed strikes and spins, as well as holding your nunchucks. In today's video, we will be discussing redirects and grabs. These are extremely important to nunchuck spinning and allow you to perform a whole variety of moves and get a great start at spinning your nunchucks. So let's get right into it with redirects. Redirects are where you take your nunchucks and reflect them off a point of your body in order to allow the nunchuck to change direction and go in a different way. This will allow us to take the strikes that we learned in the last video and integrate them into more of a fluid spinning routine, allowing us to perform tighter and faster moves. Let's start off real basic with our first redirect. Make sure that you're in a front grip, so if you stick out your thumb, you're pointing the chain part of the nunchuck, and bring your nunchuck down across your body to the opposite waist. What you're doing here is allowing this top portion of the nunchuck that you're spinning, so towards the chain of the nunchuck, to reflect off of your waist. So what you're doing is you're allowing the chain to wrap around and allow the top portion of the chuck to touch your waist in order to allow it to reflect off in the other direction. What you do not want to do is smack yourself with the end part of the nunchuck, because this part has a greater radius, which means it is moving a lot faster. Because of this, what you want to do is allow the nunchuck to reflect off of this front portion. If you allow the nunchuck to reflect off of the chain, so touch the chain part of the nunchuck to your waist, what you'll be doing is losing control over your nunchuck, because there will no longer be tension on the chain and you will not be able to keep control of the nunchuck that you're spinning. So try to touch the top portion of the nunchuck that you're spinning, so right where the chain meets the chuck, to your waist, so that the nunchuck will reflect off in a controlled manner and in a fast redirect. What you can then do is take that same redirect and apply it to your shoulders or a variety of points of your body. By using this front section, you'll prevent yourself from getting hurt, and you'll be able to perform a fast and controlled redirect. Try to experiment with a few different types of redirects, like your bicep, or your shoulders, or your waist, because this will allow you to get a feel for how to spin your nunchucks and reflect them off a point of your body without hurting yourself. Start slowly, obviously, because if you start with too much speed, you will risk injuring yourself. You will also need to practice your redirects in a back grip, where if you stick out your thumb, you're pointing the end portion of the nunchuck, because later on, when you're switching between your grips, it'll be a lot more easy for you to keep control over your nunchuck in the other grip. Also, never forget to use both of your hands for practicing these moves, because as I'll be showing you later on, when you're switching the nunchuck over to the other side, it is very important that you also have control over your nunchuck there. Our next step is to combine the strikes that we learned in the first video and the spins that we learned with our redirects. By using our redirects and our strikes, we will be able to create a more diverse spinning routine. For instance, what we can do is we can bring our nunchuck down, slashing diagonally across our body using our diagonal strike to the opposite waist, performing a redirect, and then slashing back upwards to our shoulder, and performing a redirect off of our bicep there. By simply going redirect, strike, spin, redirect, strike, spin, or a combination of those moves, you'll be able to perform a whole ton of different nunchuck sequences. Try experimenting by using your arms, hands, and legs in order to perform redirects in a variety of different ways in order to allow you to spin your nunchucks and keep control of them in a whole bunch of different positions. The next step to this is to start using what are called grabs, where you grab the swinging end of the nunchuck with your other hand. This is very important because it allows you to have a stopping point where if you're performing all these crazy moves, your spins, your strikes, you'll be able to catch the other end of the nunchuck and have a stopping point, allowing your audience to wrap their mind around all the crazy stuff that you've just been doing and your entire spinning routine. One of the easiest ways to practice this is by starting by doing a grab in front of your body, just like the one I'm doing. So what you're doing is holding on to both ends of the nunchucks with one hand, which will be holding on to the nunchuck the entire time, facing vertically like this, so holding on to your nunchuck so that the end of the nunchuck with the chain is pointing upwards, and your other hand horizontally like this, where if you stick out your thumb, you're pointing parallel to the ground. From this position, what you'll be doing is throwing the nunchuck forward away from you, so the nunchuck that is parallel with the ground, you're throwing that away from you and allowing it to rotate in front of you towards the shoulder, which is on the same side as the nunchuck that you're still holding on to. Perform a redirect off of that shoulder on that side before allowing the nunchuck to rotate back out in front of your body and into your open hand, which is in front of your body. What you want to do is catch the front portion of the nunchuck again, because the end portion, like I said before, is spinning faster and will hurt your hand. After the redirect, it's very important that you try to catch the nunchuck in this front portion because it'll be close to the balancing point of your nunchucks. And if you then want to release the hand that was originally holding on to the nunchuck and continue spinning with your other hand, it'll be very helpful that you'll already be in the proper balancing point position, just like we learned in the first video, for you to continue spinning properly. Grabs can also be performed in a variety of nunchuck settings where you're using and performing all these crazy moves and then using your grab to stop the other end of the nunchuck or to switch the nunchucks from one hand all the way over to the other hand. You can even integrate grabs into your spinning routine, like for instance your wrist rolls, your rip rolls, which we'll be learning in the next tutorial, in order to create a routine that integrates grabs not only as a point of transferring your nunchucks from one side to the other, but also as a point of focus in your spinning routine and an integral part of the move. So as you're getting the hang of catching the nunchucks in front of your body as you are swinging them, like for instance with this move where you're just rotating your nunchuck back and forth in front of your body and turning your hand and catching the nunchuck as it swings upwards as you're swinging it below, and turning your hand to face upwards and catching the nunchuck as the nunchuck is swinging from above. This will allow you to get a feel for where to catch your nunchucks and allow you to get more of a feel of how the nunchuck is spinning in the air and how you'll be able to position your other hand so the nunchuck rotates perfectly in your hand without looking each time. This is very important for the next step of moves which I'll be showing you, which are catches that you'll not be able to see. This includes your over-the-shoulder pass as well as your behind-the-back pass. This is where you're catching the nunchuck in a position where you're not able to see it, which means that you will need perfect control over your nunchucks and the feeling of where your nunchucks are spinning in the air, which will allow you to perform these moves. So let's get started with the over-the-shoulder pass. What you'll be doing is bringing your nunchuck that is off to the same side in which you're holding onto it. So you're holding on to the nunchuck with your right hand, then you'll be bringing your nunchuck over to the right side of your body. If you're holding on to the nunchuck with your left hand, you'll be bringing the nunchuck over to the left side of your body. So with the nunchuck on the same side in which you're holding onto it, what you'll be doing is swinging it over the same shoulder. So if you're holding onto your nunchuck with your right hand, over your right shoulder, and if you're holding onto your nunchuck with your left hand, you'll be swinging it over your left shoulder. What you'll be doing next is taking your opposite hand, so the hand that is currently not holding on to nunchucks, and positioning it across your body. So you're bringing it from the side which it is on, across your body with your palm facing behind you in order to catch the nunchuck that is underneath your shoulder. So slowly bring your nunchuck over your shoulder and allow it to hang downwards behind your shoulder or your bicep like this, and take your other hand, bring it across your body, have your palm facing behind you, and grab onto the nunchuck that is hanging downwards below your shoulder. Be extremely careful at first because depending on your nunchucks, if you use too much speed to go into this move, what will actually happen is that the nunchuck will start to turn upwards and can hit you in the face. And in order to prevent this, position your other hand across your body with your palm facing behind you in order to block that nunchuck, but also start out by going more slowly so that you do not risk injuring yourself. Try practicing swinging your nunchuck over your shoulder and grabbing onto the nunchuck as it is swinging upwards underneath your arm a couple of times in order to get a feel for how the nunchuck is moving. The next step will be to release your top hand, which was just holding onto your nunchuck, and allow the nunchuck to be dropped into the bottom hand, which was previously not holding onto the nunchuck. So if you start off in your right hand, your left hand will now be holding onto your nunchuck. And if you start off in your left hand, now your right hand will be holding onto the nunchuck. So you're switching the nunchuck over to the other hand. Now what we can do to make it easier to line up your nunchuck for the other side is to perform a few spins on the other side where you're spinning upwards in front of your body and downwards off the side. Then what you're doing is allowing the nunchuck to rotate upwards and over the same shoulder in which you're holding on the nunchucks with, and position your other hand once again across your body with your palm facing behind you in order to catch the other nunchuck that is rotating upwards underneath your arm. From this position where your top hand is holding on to the nunchuck above your arm and your bottom hand that is going across your body is holding on to the nunchuck below your arm, you'll be releasing your top hand yet again. So your top hand is going away and your bottom hand will only be holding onto the nunchuck, which is the hand that was originally holding onto your nunchuck as we started this move. Now you can yet again integrate some of these spins from the first video in order to line up your nunchuck properly, so going upwards in front of your body and downwards off the side, and bringing it over your shoulder and positioning your other hand with your palm facing behind you yet again. What you can do to make this move continuous is by always performing your spin, grabbing the nunchuck with your bottom hand after you've brought it over your shoulder, releasing your top hand, performing a spin, bring your nunchuck over your shoulder, and grabbing onto it with your bottom hand, And then over time, you can start to pick up this process a lot more. An alternative to your spins would be to perform redirects off of your waist. So instead of releasing your top hand and bring your nunchuck forwards and spinning upwards in front of your body and downwards off the side, what you can do is you can bring it to the same waist in which you're holding on to your nunchuck, perform a redirect off of that waist before bringing your nunchuck upwards and over your shoulder. So once again, you're releasing your top hand, swinging your nunchuck horizontally across your body, performing a waist redirect that is on the same side as which you're holding on to your nunchuck with, and then bring your nunchuck straight up and over your shoulder in order to allow you to grab on the other end of the nunchuck and continue spinning. Another alternative is not to perform any spins or redirects between your passes over your shoulder. However, the problem with this is that your nunchucks will not be spinning straight up, but at an angle. That angle will make it more difficult for you to catch your nunchuck as it is swinging over your shoulder, versus if you allowed your nunchuck to line up properly and swing in a vertical fashion over your shoulder, instead of having that diagonal in there, which will make it more difficult to catch the nunchuck. A slightly more difficult variation of this move is the behind the back pass. In this case, you're bringing your hand not in front of your body, but behind your body, going across your body, in order to open your hand and have your palm facing behind you and allow the nunchuck to rotate into that hand which is behind your body and not in front of it. With your nunchucks in this position, you'll once again be releasing your top hand, so allowing the other nunchuck to drop behind your back before you can swing that out from behind you and up over your other shoulder. After you've gotten a hang of your over the shoulder passes, it should not be too difficult to get a hang of your behind the back pass, because the only real difference is that you're swinging your nunchuck higher up onto your shoulder and not over your bicep, and you're catching the nunchuck with your hand going behind your back and not in front of your body. I would be careful when learning this one, because it's very easy to pinch yourself with the chain part of the nunchuck or hit yourself with the nunchuck. But if you do want to learn it, then start off by being very careful and get a feel for your nunchuck spinning first. In order to perform this move, one of the things that you really want to do is hold on to your nunchucks further down towards the end of the chuck. This is very important because it'll give you the range to reach around your neck and allow the nunchuck to rotate without hurting yourself. So instead of the grip which we were using for other moves, where we're holding onto our nunchucks pretty close to the chain part of the chuck, what you're doing now is holding onto your nunchucks closer to the end part of the chuck, which will give you the range in order to reach around your neck. What you'll be doing is swing your nunchucks horizontally, because you will need that horizontal momentum in order to make it around and not hit yourself in the back. So what you're doing is swinging the nunchuck horizontally, and you're bringing your other hand up across your body like this. So the hand that is swinging is going across your body, and the hand that is catching is also going across your body. So you're making an X with your arms in front of your body. When learning this move, I would suggest positioning your hand that is going to catch the other end of the nunchuck across your body before you even start the move. This will allow you to protect your face and prevent the other end of the nunchuck from swinging around and hitting you. All you have to do next is allow the nunchuck to rotate around, grab onto that end of the nunchuck, and then all you have to do is allow the nunchuck to continue spinning and going off with the other hand in order to perform a variety of moves. But like I said, although this is a very common move, I would suggest being careful at first, because it is very easy to injure yourself when performing it. Another type of move that I really enjoy performing are your cross passes. In this sequence, you'll be using your nunchucks in order to perform a variety of passes and allow your nunchucks to continue switching from one hand over to the other. This is a type of move where it's very important that you have both of your grips as well as your spins down well, because you will need those in order to position your nunchucks properly in front of your body to allow them to rotate perfectly into your hand each time. There are very many types of cross passes, and it's definitely an area worth experimenting with, because it'll allow you to really get a feel for how your nunchucks are moving. But one of the most basic ones is your back grip to back grip cross pass, where you're holding on to both ends of your nunchucks in back grip. What you're doing here is starting out by giving one end of the nunchuck a lot of momentum going in the downward direction, so that you can spin that nunchuck over on the other side, going upwards off the side and downwards in front of your body. What you'll be doing next is positioning your other hand, which is not holding onto a nunchuck, with your thumb pointing downwards in front of your body and allowing the nunchuck to rotate into that hand in a back grip. From this position, what you'll be doing is throwing the nunchuck that was previously spinning the nunchucks downwards, so that the nunchuck swings and spins going downwards in front of your body and upwards off the side. What you'll be doing next is positioning your hand, which is not holding onto a nunchuck, in front of your body with your thumb pointing downwards and allowing the other end of the nunchuck to rotate into your hand, and now you will be in a back grip. The next step is to throw the nunchuck that was previously spinning the nunchucks downwards in front of your body, allowing you to rotate the nunchuck downwards in front of your body and upwards off to the side, and that pattern will continue. So the very simple pattern is spin, grab, release, spin, grab, release, spin, grab, and then so on. If you wish, you can also use any form of grab where you're holding on to the other end of the nunchuck in order to use that as an opportunity to switch the hand which is holding on to the nunchucks. So at any type of grab at all, where all you're doing is holding on to both ends of your nunchucks, can be used in order to switch the nunchuck over to the other side. It is also very useful as a tool to help you switch your grip. Say for instance, I'm in 2 front grips. What you can do is bring your nunchuck over to the other side and then catch the nunchuck in a back grip with the same hand that was originally holding on to the nunchuck, and it'll allow you to transfer between your grips, front grips, back grips, and whatever, because it will allow you to break up your nunchuck spinning in order to provide you with this opportunity for a transition. So in summary, what we learned today was our redirects off of a variety of points of our body, followed by grabs, which allow us to stop the swing of the nunchuck in order to give our audience time to wrap their minds around the spinning sequence that we've just done, and allowing us to perform passes where we're allowing the nunchuck to transfer over from one hand to the other. This can be done in the form of simply letting go of the other end of the nunchuck and allowing us to continue spinning with our other hand, or it can be done in the form of the over-the-shoulder pass or the behind-the-back pass. Both of these will allow us to transfer our nunchucks over to the other hand. Our neck pass, as well as our cross passes, will allow us to get more of a feel of our nunchuck spinning. So I hope that you found this tutorial useful. If you'd like to see more videos to any of the moves that I've discussed in this video, as well as a variety of different moves that are also along the same lines as the ones discussed today, then be sure to check out the variety of tutorials that I have on my channel.